Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are back with another 10 watches that represent the very best this industry has to offer. A carefully chosen range that spans rugged Swiss military instruments, elegant Italian-inspired diving icons, sports luxury royalty, and one of the most celebrated complications in the history of Swiss horology. Whether you are deep into the hobby or just beginning your journey, this list is guaranteed to spark something in you. These are watches with stories, watches with soul, and watches that, once seen on the wrist, are almost impossible to forget. Let's get into it. Number 10. Panerai Radiomir. The Panerai Radiomir is one of watchmaking's great origin stories, a timepiece born not from a jeweler's workshop, but from the secret depths of the Italian Navy. In the 1930s, Officine Panerai supplied the Italian naval commandos with specialized instruments for underwater sabotage missions. Instruments that needed to be legible in total darkness, impervious to water pressure, and robust enough to survive operational use by combat frogmen. The Radiomir, named for the radium-based luminous compound applied to its hands and markers, was that instrument. Decades later, when Panerai entered the commercial market in the 1990s, it brought that extraordinary history with it. The Radiomir's cushion-shaped case, wire lugs, and cathedral hands immediately announced a design language unlike anything else in modern watchmaking. Deeply vintage in reference, yet utterly contemporary in execution. The 45mm case wears large on most wrists, but carries its size with a confidence and elegance that smaller watches rarely achieve. Today's Radiomir is typically powered by Panerai's in-house P-series movements, many featuring extended power reserves of 3, 8, or even 10 days, a nod to the long underwater missions for which the original was designed. The sandwich dial construction, 2 layers creating a 3-dimensional depth effect around the numerals, remains as distinctive and beautiful as ever. The Panerai Radiomir retails from approximately $5,500 USD, and for that investment you receive not just a watch, but a piece of military and horological history that stands alone on the wrist. Number 9. Tissot PRS 516. The Tissot PRS 516 is a watch that rewards closer attention. A Swiss-made chronograph that draws its inspiration from the original PR 516 launched in 1965, a racing-oriented sports watch of the era that competed directly with the best Geneva had to offer. The name references the Swiss motorway speed limit of 100 kilometers per hour as a winking nod to performance culture, and that motorsport energy flows through every design decision on the modern PRS 516. The case is well-proportioned at 42 mm, with a tachymeter scale around the bezel for measuring speed over a known distance, a practical tool for the track and a striking visual element on the street. The dial layout is assertively sporty. Applied indices, contrasting subregisters for the chronograph functions, and a date window that integrates cleanly without crowding the composition. Bracelet options include a comfortable stainless steel link bracelet and rubber straps that lean further into the racing reference. Number 8. Citizen ProMaster. Few watch lines demonstrate the breadth of a brand's engineering ambition more clearly than the Citizen ProMaster. This is not a single watch, but an entire philosophy, a collection of purpose-built professional instruments spanning land, sea, and sky, each engineered to meet the demands of its intended environment without compromise or cosmetic concession. The dive variants, rated to 200 or 300 meters of water resistance with unidirectional bezels and screw-down crowns, are serious professional tools that earn their credentials on the dive boat rather than in the marketing brochure. The aviation models feature slide rule bezels for flight calculations, functional tools that pilots still rely on. Throughout the range, Citizen's EcoDrive solar technology ensures these instruments never need a battery change, running indefinitely on light energy stored in a rechargeable cell. Number 7. Victorinox Swiss Army INOX. The name Victorinox needs no introduction. It is the maker of the Swiss Army knife, the iconic multi-tool that has accompanied explorers, soldiers, and travelers for well over a century. The INOX, standing for inoxidable, the French word for stainless, is Victorinox's attempt to bring that same philosophy of indestructible Swiss reliability to the wristwatch, and the result is one of the most rigorously tested watches ever put into production. Before reaching retail, the INOX was subjected to 130 different tests, including being run over by a military tank, subjected to extreme temperatures from -40 to 200 degrees Celsius, pressure tested to 200 meters, tumbled in a cement mixer with gravel, and blast tested in a laboratory explosion chamber. It passed them all. The robust 40mm case, sapphire crystal, and screw-down crown give it everyday durability that genuinely exceeds its modest price point. The dial design is clean and honest, a tool watch aesthetic that prioritizes legibility over decoration, with bold applied indices and hands coated in generous luminous compound. Strap options are extensive, with Victorinox offering the INOX on everything from stainless steel bracelets to NATO webbing to rubber mission straps. Powered by a Swiss-made ETA quartz movement for absolute reliability, the Victorinox Swiss Army INOX retails for approximately $295 USD, arguably the most abuse-resistant watch per dollar anywhere in the market. Number 6. Tag Heuer. Formula 1. If the Carrera is Tag Heuer's sophisticated motorsport gentleman, the Formula 1 is its adrenaline-charged younger sibling. Unapologetically bold, relentlessly energetic, and priced to put Swiss-made sports watch quality within reach of enthusiasts who are just beginning their collection. The Formula 1 was introduced in 1986 and was among the first Swiss watches to use fiberglass composites and industrial materials in its construction, drawing direct inspiration from the engineering language of Formula 1 racing cars. The modern Formula 1 collection continues that tradition with assertive case designs, vivid dial color options, and a versatile size range that suits a wide variety of wrist sizes and personal styles. The quartz versions offer Tag Heuer's characteristic precision without the mechanical premium, while automatic variants provide the satisfying sweep second-hand for buyers who prefer mechanical movement. Both benefit from Tag Heuer's construction quality, solid case finishing, sapphire crystal, and a bracelet or strap execution that feels above its price category. The Formula 1's strength lies in its energy and approachability. This is a watch that does not take itself too seriously, that wears comfortably into almost any casual or sportswear context, and that carries the Tag Heuer name with all the motorsport heritage that implies, at an entry price that opens the door to the brand for many buyers. The Tag Heuer. Formula 1 retails from approximately $1,050 USD in quartz and $1,550 USD in automatic configurations. Number 5. Rolex Datejust. If there is one watch that has defined the concept of the classic everyday luxury timepiece more completely than any other in history, it is the Rolex Datejust. Introduced in 1945, the year World War II ended, the Datejust was the first self-winding wristwatch to display the date in a window at 3 o'clock. And the Cyclops lens that magnifies the date remains among the most recognized design elements in watchmaking. For 8 decades, the Datejust has been the watch people buy when they want to mark an occasion, reward an achievement, or simply wear something that will be relevant, desirable, and well-regarded for the rest of their lives. The current references, the 36mm on 12.6200 and the 41mm at 26.300, are powered by Rolex's Caliber 3235, a manufacture movement of exceptional refinement, featuring the Chronergy escapement, a parachrome hairspring, and a 70-hour power reserve. The Jubilee and Oyster bracelet options offer meaningfully different personalities. The Jubilee is dressy and refined, the Oyster sportier and more versatile. Dial options are almost overwhelming in their variety. Sunray brushed, fluted, diamond set, and dozens of colors and textures. Number 4. IWC Portugieser. The IWC Portugieser occupies a unique position in Swiss watchmaking. A watch with a genuinely unusual origin story that has grown into one of the most respected dress watch lines in the world. In the late 1930s, 2 Portuguese watch merchants commissioned IWC to produce a large wristwatch, unusually large for the era at approximately 44 millimeters, housing a highly accurate marine chronometer level movement in a wristwatch case. The resulting watch set the template for the Portugieser's character ever since. Clean, spacious dials, railway track minute chapters, elegant leaf-shaped hands, and proportions that allow the dial to breathe. Today's Portugieser references range from the restrained automatic to the extraordinary perpetual calendar and tourbillon, but it is the core 40.4mm automatic that best captures the collection's essential spirit. The slim case in stainless steel or rose gold, the open and legible dial, and the beautifully finished 52010 in-house caliber with its 60-hour power reserve and exhibition caseback create a watch of genuine elegance. The small seconds at 6 o'clock and the power reserve indicator at 7 o'clock provide the dial with a balance and classical symmetry that feels entirely right. For buyers seeking a serious Swiss dress watch with real manufacturer credentials and a history that justifies the price, the Portugieser Automatic is among the finest choices available. It retails for approximately $6,250 USD in stainless steel. a substantial investment that buys you one of Geneva's great classic designs and IWC's manufacturing excellence in a single, enduring package. Number 3. Vacheron Constantin Patrimony. Vacheron Constantin is the oldest continuously operating watch manufacturer in the world. Founded in Geneva in 1755, producing timepieces without interruption across wars, revolutions, market crashes, and the quartz crisis that nearly destroyed the Swiss industry entirely. That continuity is not merely a historical footnote. It represents an unbroken transmission of craft knowledge, aesthetic philosophy, and horological values across nearly 3 centuries. When you wear a Vacheron Constantin, you wear the longest tradition in the art. The Patrimony collection is the purest expression of that tradition. Slim, restrained, and refined to a degree that borders on the philosophical, the Patrimony features a cushion-shaped case, a shape Vacheron has used since the 18th century, in platinum or 18-karat gold, measuring just 40 millimeters in diameter. The dial is a study in considered minimalism. Applied baton indices, a single date aperture, slender hands, and a surface that rewards unhurried examination. Every element is precisely where it needs to be and nowhere else. Powering the Patrimony automatic is Vacheron's Caliber 2450 Q6, an ultra-thin, self-winding movement finished to the hallmark of Geneva Standard, the most demanding voluntary certification in Swiss watchmaking, covering everything from anglage on bridges to the decoration of screws. Owning a Vacheron Constantin Patrimony is not simply owning a watch. Number 2. Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore. If the original Royal Oak, launched in 1972 by the genius of Gerald Genta, redefined what a luxury sports watch could be, then the Royal Oak Offshore, introduced in 1993, detonated the rulebook entirely. Conceived by Emmanuel Goit and famously nicknamed the Beast by traditionalists who considered its 42mm size and aggressive sportswear aesthetic an affront to fine watchmaking, the Offshore has spent 3 decades vindicating its own existence by becoming one of the most desirable and culturally significant luxury watches ever produced. The Offshore amplifies every dimension of the Royal Oak's design language: a larger octagonal bezel, more pronounced case proportions, bolder pushers protected by rubber crowns, and a dial assertiveness that reads from across a room. In chronograph form, the configuration most associated with the model, the pusher guards and overall architecture create a watch of extraordinary sculptural presence. Material options have expanded over the decades to include titanium, ceramic, carbon fiber, and frosted gold, with dial and rubber strap combinations that seem inexhaustible in their variety. Number 1. Rolex GMT Master the Mercure. There is a version of this list where the number 1 position goes to the most technically complex watch, the most artistically extraordinary creation, or the most historically significant movement. And those arguments all have merit. But when you consider the totality of what a watch must be, its technical achievement, its cultural resonance, its versatility, its desirability across generations and geographies, its ability to transcend the watch world and mean something to people who have never read a single review, there is one watch that stands above all others on this list: the Rolex GMT Master the Sedan. Originally developed in collaboration with Pan American World Airways in the 1950s to allow pilots to track 2 time zones simultaneously, the GMT Master has evolved across 7 decades into something far greater than its utilitarian origin suggests. The current reference, the 12610 BLRO, better known by its nickname Pepsi for the red and blue bidirectional ceramic bezel, is a horological and cultural object of remarkable completeness. The 40mm oyster case in oyster steel sits on the wrist with a rightness and confidence that is almost impossible to articulate and entirely impossible to argue with.